calling back.
Yeah, you bet. Tell me what's going on.
Well, we have a 2012 Toyota Highlander, four-wheel drive, six-cylinder, runs great, love the car. It's got 171,000 miles on it.
Okay.
So I drive it a lot, and I'm a realtor. One of the problems was the battery kept dying, and so we put a new battery in, but I was noticing that the fan that cools the engine would run. It would either run all night or run for 10 minutes and then shut off and then start again.
Okay.
And so it killed the new battery. So my son put in the new battery, but he started trying to check the relay on that fan. He took it out, and he was going to go get a new one. But the car, even with the charge, will not start now. And he suspects it's something to do with the anti-theft system.
Oh, okay. So
it tries to turn over, but it won't.
Okay. When is this a push button or a key?
It's a key.
Okay. And when you put the key in the ignition, turn the key on, do you have a security light that's on solid or flashing?
I don't know what kind of light it is, but I couldn't even get the dashboard to light up. The only thing that works is the small camera.
Okay.
And that worked. And there was a button that showed that the door was open, the light for that, but nothing else went on.
But the engine cranks over really strong, correct?
It cranked, but it wouldn't start. So that's why he suspected it was anti-theft. At one point when we changed the battery, the alarm went off, and I just turned it off.
Right.
Manually, and I don't know if I did something to it then or not. But I couldn't find anything online about it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Did you check the fuses and any fusible links?
He did, yeah. The relay is not in it, but I don't think that would keep it from starting, would it?
Well, which relay?
It's for the fan that wouldn't shut off.
No.
So he said it shouldn't stop it from starting. He was just going to go take it down and go get a new relay switch because the ones we have here don't fit my car.
Right.
So he went to go get that, and it wouldn't start. I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't know what's doing. I don't have a Toyota dealership near me, unfortunately. I'm at least 2.5 hours away.
So, and you're very confident that all of the fuses are good. Is that correct?
Yes, he's checked them.
Okay. All right. Well, that's bad news because what that means, if the battery is good and strong, it's cranking the engine over, and the fuses are good, but the dashboard isn't lighting up, that tells me that we have an electrical issue further upstream. Maybe something with the ignition switch, maybe something with the fuse box, maybe a wiring issue. We could have a couple things going on here, and some hands-on testing will need to be done to determine the root cause, and it may be a little more testing than you're comfortable with, but
I'm going to have to take it in.
Well, yeah, you could go. I'm just looking at diagram here of the ignition switch. This is not a hybrid here, so let me just pull up a wiring diagram real fast. And when did this happen?
It just happened today.
Okay.
Put the new battery in last night.
In some cases, if we have a locked up module, you can disconnect the battery cables from the battery and rub the cables together for 5 minutes.
Okay.
That'll discharge all the capacitors and all the modules on board the vehicle, and it might start and run if that's what's going on, but I don't think that's what's going on.
I'm writing it down. So disconnect the battery cables and rub the cables together?
That's correct, right? You got it.
Cables together. Okay, for a few minutes. All right.
But hang on, bear with me here. I'm just pulling up a really good diagram.
Oh, no problem.
I think that's going to help us out. Looks like there's some fusible links.
Glad you're finding them.
Let's see here. You know what you could do? Here's another. Do you have a voltmeter by chance?
A voltmeter? I'm not sure if he has one or not.
Okay, you could ask him. So if you, looks like there are some fusible links, but here's the thing. What you could do with a voltmeter is, there's one, look at this, there's one main fusible link that comes off the battery, and it powers up your engine room fuse block. You could make sure that the fuse block under the hood, all those fuses that are good, make sure they have 12 volts, because there's a difference between if the fuse is good compared to if it actually has 12 volts on it, right? Does that make sense?
Okay.
So we want to make sure, yeah, we got to get a voltmeter, make sure that those fuses have full voltage, and then what I would do is I would turn the key on, put the key in the ignition, turn the key on, and you're going to check voltage on the fuses inside the vehicle.
Okay.
And again, it's different than checking if the fuses are good, right? I want to make sure that these fuses have battery voltage, because if the fuses under the hood have voltage, but the fuses inside the vehicle don't, well, what's between there is the ignition switch. So, and yes, it's possible. There's actually probably 4 different contacts inside that ignition switch that one could go bad and the other 3 still work, and that would still be grounds to replace that ignition switch if one of those contacts inside the ignition switch goes bad. I don't think the ignition switch is bad, but I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah, because it started up yesterday right after we jumped it. Something else is happening. But
you know what? And here's the thing. Now that you mention it, it started up after you jumped it. Usually, I accidentally hook up the battery cables backwards by chance. Is that possible?
I'll check. It did start, and it's getting something to it now because the battery wants to turn it over. It just won't catch.
Right, yeah, I get that. But it's still possible that we could have, man, it really sounds like a blown fuse or even a fusible link.
Okay, I'll tell them. Reverse, I'll put question mark reverse cables.
Yep.
And have it double check that.
Yeah, well, don't reverse them. What you're going to, ask him if the battery cables got reversed when he was jumping it. And then if not, then disconnect the cables from the battery, rub the cables together for 5 minutes and see if that does the trick. If not, we're going to need to get a voltmeter and check for power on those fuses under the hood and inside the vehicle.
Okay. Well, that helps a lot. It gives me something to go on. So thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome. Good luck, okay?
Thanks, MG.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.